Hello everyone, this is Marco from CGTN. I'm here at the Yangguan Pass in Dunhuang, China's northwest Gansu province. And with me, we have Aika from Uzbekistan. Say hello, Aika.
Hello.
Yeah. Aika is our special guest for this trip. And
today we are in the Yangguan Pass, which is the only custom historically in the Chinese. So the Chinese envoys will have to pass through this to go abroad, or foreign envoys have to pass through this to come to China.
Yeah, so this is China's oldest custom. You know, so you have this modern custom. You know, when you get to China, you have your passport and you have your the certificate check when you get in. So this is like even 1,000 years ago. So we also have that kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
So you see, we're in Dunhuang. You know, it's an ancient city. Yeah. It's a very important place along the ancient Silk Road. Yeah. So Uzbekistan is a very important place along the Silk Road. So today we are going to take you to a trip to rediscover the ancient Silk Road. And by the way, we're going also to try, you know, the ancient way of passing like borders, passing customs. So, you know, we are get ready for this because, you know, you see we are in our traditional Hanfu. This is the Han costume. This is the thing that wear in the Han Dynasty.
Yeah, I like it. I know it look me fat, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you look good in it. I mean, it looks nice on you. You see this, you know, peacock.
Compliment. That's it.
I mean, the color fits you very well, and your umbrella. It's a nice umbrella as well. And so with me, I also have this. Do you know what it is, Aika?
Passport? No, it should be permission from the king.
Yeah, you get it right. Okay, you get it right. So this one is, you know, because in ancient time when the paper hadn't been invented, they had this. This is like a scroll made of bamboo. I think it's made of bamboo. So it is actually like a paperwork, like a government paperwork for me, you know, to use for the border check. Yeah, you can see that. You can have a look. Yeah, just have a look of what this is saying. Is saying, you know, this is a guanzhao instead of the passport today. This is like a pass, you know, passport. Yeah. So this is a Dunhuang, and this is Yangguan Pass. This is the place where we're at today, and so we're heading to the Xiyu, which is the west region. The western region. The western region is actually today's Xinjiang is considered the western region, but also is linked to, you know, Uzbekistan, Central Asia, if you go to like further in the Middle East. So it is, you know, like that. So today, you know, since we're, you know, all dressed up in Asian costume, we're gonna play a flashback tour to ancient times. Because behind me, so we have like it is called Duweifu in Chinese, which means Du is mansion. It is, you know, the place where you hand in your paperwork and they give you the passport. So so after we get over past that door, you see these people dressed up in Asian costumes. So we're entering Han Dynasty. Yeah. Do you think you can do that?
Of course.
So we need to have our character. Yeah. So I'm one who trying to do business on the Silk Road.
Okay.
Is that okay for you? So you're my. Can you? I'm asking you to play the role of my wife. So because you know.
Where's my ring?
Okay, well, I mean, I will get you at the other end of the Silk Road. Okay, all right. Okay, so so after we're passing that door, we're entering Han Dynasty, where you can, you know, so we'll be, you know, playing the part of I'm a merchant who going to, you know, spend many years on the Silk Road doing business, and you're gonna be stay home taking care of the kids, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have a baby here.
Oh, okay. So you think you can do that?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Okay. So let's do it. But remember, I mean,
we are in Han Dynasty.
We are in Han Dynasty. You know, females should be humble. You know, should be quiet.
Even foreign wives.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, this one thing that we should mention.
Yeah.
Historically, in the that Han Dynasty.
Yeah.
In that area, Dunhuang area, there was like a lot of cross-cultural marriages.
Yeah,
because of
definitely.
the Silk Road.
Right.
So, it's one of the examples.
Here's my foreign wife, very posh. Here's my foreign wife in Han Dynasty. So, but we are still going through like a Chinese custom. Yeah. So you're gonna follow the rules. You're gonna follow me. So yeah, I have to go first. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Remember, we're in Han Dynasty.
Okay. I'm sad.
You should be sad.
I'm sad.
leaving. Okay.
I'm sad.
Let's go. So this is the duwei which is the China's Asian costume, where you hand in your paperwork from the government, and they give you the passport, probably in this form. So I guess, and we're going past that. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
so yeah, I will be leaving for a long time.
do you have to? I mean,
yeah. Well,
you can stay. I mean, why you need to go?
Well, because there's a lot of things to explore along the Silk Road, and you know, everybody's going today. You know, it's a long trip. It's gonna be exciting. But first, we're gonna pass that. You see the general sitting inside.
Yeah,
You know, he's looking very serious. So yeah, I'm gonna hand over the thing to him. You stand next to me, okay?
Okay.
Try to be quiet. Okay, all right. Okay. So you know how to do the hand thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. You stand over here. Take your hand. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
从哪里来到哪里去？
从长安来，去大渊国去。
在这边办理通关文牒。
Say him again? Okay. All right. So that's the
So you said you from Chang'an going to
Dayuan,
Dayuan.
Yeah.
Yes.
which is your home.
Yeah.
Homeland,
So
yeah.
say hi to my dad.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so that's like the immigration officer, and after that we're going to hand over our paperwork
Okay.
to the like another immigration officer, I guess.
Okay. So I should
Alright.
stand behind.
Okay, all right. So let's do the traditional thing again, and we hand over to him. I think here's my passport, and he's gonna write my name on it.
What if he write both of us so I can go with you?
Well, I think they only give one person the permission to go abroad. You know, they're writing my name on it. Yeah. And the place where I'm gonna go, and the time they issue the certificate, just like the modern passport.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're in Han Dynasty, remember?
Yeah. I am.
Okay.
So I'm crying now. Yeah, I am.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we do the thing again. Come on. All right. So it's time for me to get my passport. Okay, to hand over the general in that
我也
direction.
送你通关。
Okay. So here's with my name on it and time on it, and let's go. Let's go. We do the thing again. And we'll give it to him. He just said yes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Okay.
So here we have my passport issued.
And the name?
Yeah. Oh well, I'm leaving my wife. Set time. Okay.
Yeah.
See this, the nice weather and the Gobi Desert outside. And it is such a nice place here, but it's you know, you can see the Asian walls. You can see the
Is
it's
it
not
part
Asian
of
walls.
Great Wall? No?
No, I don't think it's part of the Great Wall, but it's the Asian part of the wall.
Ouch.
And yeah, so on this trip, I think I'm going to visit a friend of mine.
Okay.
A friend of mine, his name is Nadim, and Nadim he's doing camel trade. He's from Babylon. He's from like a country like far away from China. Yeah.
Okay. So, is it dangerous to go there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, on the Silk Road, well, there's a lot of people, you know, traveling, doing business, but it will be fine. I mean, there's a lot of. Nadim also, he's a strong guy. I mean, he's a strong
Really?
guy. Yeah, he used to have a war with the Huns, but but he won, you know.
Oh, so probably you can leave his telephone number. Oh no, I'm just caring about you.
Oh, okay, all right, you should, yeah.
Yeah. Like I will call him to ask how are you, you know.
All right, so,
Do we have a telephone in the Asian time? No.
oh no, we don't have
So you
Asian
can write
time.
to me.
Yeah, Wing, I can always write a letter, and I think I can put my passport here, right?
Oh, you
That's the
should
way.
too,
That's the
actually.
way. That's the way Asian people put their things in their little clothes. This is a big clothes, right? Okay, all right. Let's heading this way. It is a nice weather, but it's also a time of departure.
Yeah.
You know, well,
So you're leaving for business, right?
yes, it's a business
Selling.
journey, yeah, to the far countries on the other side of the Silk Road.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that it won't take like many years, probably a couple months, couple of years.
Oh,
It should be fine, you know, you take care of yourself. So if you look at this
you
way,
don't look sad actually. You should be fine.
well, I mean,
Okay,
I'm trying to do a business as well.
Okay.
And here's the Yangguan Pass. You know, here's the Yangguan Pass. You know, so you can see soldiers guarding the door. And after I go passing that door, you know, it's a different world. It's a different place. You know.
Yeah, but do you really have to go?
Well, I mean, well, you asked me many times, but, well, Nadim's waiting for me, and I say I will come back, you know, in hopefully couple years, I will come back, yeah.
So you will ride in the horse or camels?
Well, I think camels are probably the easiest to ride. I mean, I know Dayuan, the Asian Dayuan is famous for its heavenly horses.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we have
So
heavenly
we had
horses.
We had a war because of this.
Right. Oh,
And you
sorry
killed my
about that.
brother.
Sorry
and you
about
killed
that.
my brother.
I didn't kill. Okay, it wasn't me who killed your brother, but I mean, there's there's a war because of the heavenly horses. Well, but we're gonna ride like a camel ride today. We're gonna have a ride of the camels, and hopefully we'll be fine. We'll travel along the Silk Road to see what's out there, you know. Okay, so we're approaching the Yangguan Pass.
Yeah, but you know, I've been in China for a long time,
Right.
and I learned a lot about its culture.
Yeah.
So right now I want to do one more thing.
Oh, that is sweet. Okay, I know what you mean by that. All right.
Here's a leaf of liu shu. Liu shu, like liu, it means stay, and I would like to give it to you.
Oh,
and
that
to
is sweet. Come
ask you to
on.
stay one
Oh.
more time. So
All
you have
right.
to stay.
Okay, so
Don't go.
this is an Asian Chinese custom. This is so sweet. I mean, because liu shu, the word
Yeah.
liu, yeah, you explained. It's the
Stay.
stay, which means stay, which means stay. So it's a very polite way of saying please don't go.
Yeah.
It is where you
Actually, before in ancient time, we could people couldn't say about their feeling that directly.
right.
Yeah, so they.
But you always said your feeling directly to me.
Well, okay.
Okay.
I need time to get used to it.
Yeah, you need some time to get used to the Asian vibe, but yeah, I'll keep this along with my, it's still there, It's very handy actually. You should try this. It's a very handy way
Can
of
I?
doing this. Yeah. So it's time to say goodbye, really.
Oh,
I'm going to check the border gate. Actually, do you want to have a look?
I want it.
Okay, but I'm not sure if you don't have the. Okay, all right. I'm gonna hand over this to him. Okay. So another immigration officer here.
Too many ladies. Just when you're living.
Okay. Oh, they got a nice stamp here as well. Oh, they gotta stamp it. So cool. Oh, that's so cool.
请收好你的通关
What
文
does it
件，
mean?
你可以出关了。
What's right in here?
Well, let's do the Asian. Remember where I was going. That's fine.
I
That's fine.
really need to learn about it.
Okay, all right. So, so if you see this, I mean, this is the Asian passport, saying I'm, coming through Dunhuang, and going past the Yangguan Pass, which is we're here. We're at the Yangguan Pass, and going to like a different country in the western regions, and we're allowed him to go. So that is the Asian passport, with the time and the date. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. That's the. Oh, they have still another. There are lots of
Ceremony.
beautiful, beautiful people waiting for me.
That's how it's happened. He said
Oh.
like, in ancient time they could have 4 wives, and now he's talking about beautiful ladies.
Come
This is
on.
what he's living.
Well,
He's living
come
for
on.
4 years.
No, come on. This is just a part of the custom. I mean, if you show me, this is the way they say goodbye to me. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Okay.
您好，请喝第一杯阳关酒，祝您万事如意。
Okay. Wish me a bright future. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. I'm gonna drink it like. Okay. That's it. I mean, oh, I don't forget my passport. I have my passport and your valuable willow. So that's it. That's the Asian ways of passing like a border check, right? So which is very very ritual, right? Don't you like it? The way of Well, I mean, you're still in the wife mood. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that will be fine because so after passing the Yangguan Gate here, we are really entering the west region, which is Xiyu in China, in Chinese, which is the Xinjiang region. And there used to be 36 countries in this area in ancient times. And but I have my hand passport, which is very powerful. We can travel to many different countries with my passport. And so I'm going for a camel ride. All right.
And I'm going for a party.
Oh, it's going for the party. Okay. Thanks for joining me, Aika. Okay, all right. We'll see you next time. Okay, so so after we get over, she shouldn't really be that happy though. We go to Yangguan Pass. So I got my friend waiting there, which is I said he used to be a camel rider. She used to be a camel rider. Yeah. So let's introduce Nadim. Come on, Nadim.
Hey, I hope the customs didn't give you a hard time.
No. It's everything went quite smoothly. I got my, willows, which is a good sign of, when people saying farewells, they give you that, So do you want to check out my Asian passport?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Things in my Yeah.
I want to ask you before we set out, are you ready for the wilderness? Because
Wow.
this is
Look
what
at
you
here.
will see. Everyone, this is what they will see. You will see
Yeah.
for the next few minutes. let's
Minutes.
say.
Yeah. Okay.
But others
Yeah.
used to see a sea of sand
Right.
for days, weeks, months, and even years.
Even years,
Just
yeah.
traveling through the Gobi deserts, through the Taklamakan desert.
Right. Right.
And then after the desert, you know, they have the snow-capped mountains,
Right.
Pamirs, then they have really high plateau as high as 20,000 meters above sea levels.
Equally exciting, I would assume.
Of course,
Yeah.
because
I see you wear. You know, you just give a look of the thing that Nadim's wearing. I mean, he's wearing something
so because
really
I'm not,
attractive. I
well,
mean,
because I'm not from the Chinese Empire.
No.
Because I supposedly come from the lands of Euphrates and Tigris.
all right.
which
Okay.
is-
The Babylon.
which Babylon was a city.
Yeah.
We call them very gentle creatures. Camels.
Yeah.
Bactrian camels used to be used a lot during the Silk Road because they had double eyelids and they had noses that their nostrils would not allow the sands when they're being blown by the wind to get into their nostrils. So it's because
Okay.
of their nose that they were used. It's also because of their double eyelids. So that's why they were used. Also because they're camels, so their endurance is high. They can spend days without water.
Okay.
And the journey is actually long because the Silk Road was extended for around 7,000 kilometers, 4,000
Something like
miles.
that. Yeah.
But even though that few people actually went from the beginning to end, still there were long stretches of journeys.
Right.
So,
Let's see if these camels,
well,
you know.
without further ado, we
Yeah.
have to start the journey. So, I'm going to be seated in the back,
Right.
and you're going to be
It's a
seated
lovely
in
camel.
front.
Just look at it,
They're
eyes.
very lovely. They're
Lovely
very
camels,
lovely.
yeah.
I hope you have your insurance ready.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I'll be the one seated in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
back.
yeah. Let's see him sitting on first.
Very easily.
Yeah, it looks
And
fine.
You'll have your own. One thing that you guys have to remember doing is
Okay.
be very.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
That's all right.
Talking about.
That is all right.
So
Okay.
if one stands, the other will stand, and that's why we start from the last till the.
The first
front.
one. Yeah.
Usually
Okay.
They are tethered by from head to tail. And okay. Camel traders,
Okay.
1940s to the 1950s. Now caravan started walking up about camels.
Mhm.
Camels actually walk with the same pace as humans.
Already.
So yeah, so if we were walking, we would still, catch up with them.
Okay.
They walk around 2 to 3 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So let's say a 1,000-kilometer journey
Mhm.
would take them somewhere between 5 weeks to 7 weeks.
All right.
But
Okay.
we're not going to go that long today.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at these massive, gorgeous places around here.
Yes.
So you see that mountain top there. This is like the Aviation Post, where people.
Military outpost.
It's a military outpost where you're sending out like signals, sending out signals when there's like enemy invasion.
Of course.
Yeah, so I mean, this is from ancient times. It is still from the ancient time.
It still stands the test of time up until this day. It's been 4,000 years.
It's been 4,000 years since the Silk Road was.
Inception of the Silk Road.
Yeah.
Silk Road came about. Actually, the Dunhuang
Yeah.
city,
Right.
and not just Dunhuang, but the Yangguan Pass
Yeah.
was established when? It was established around 100 and, if I'm not mistaken, 110, 120 before Christ. So to think that up until this day, some of these elements still stand today is been during a few times
Right.
with sandstorms.
Okay.
Dunes around you because it's pretty much a desert. And
Yeah.
it sits in Dunhuang, which is this area.
Mhm.
Edge of the Taklamakan Desert
Right.
and on the desert. So you have two deserts from the north of this.
But this is like a small, oasis in between the desert, right?
Of course.
That's why,
The reason why you have Dunhuang, the reason why you have
Yangguan Pass,
is because
yeah.
of water.
Because of the water, and speaking of which, this used to be the China's, west like frontier
Yes.
to the so-called west regions. So here's a little thing. So this place becomes famous because of a guy named Zhang Qian.
Of course.
So Zhang Qian is a very important figure in the history of China and also the Silk Road. He was the one who firstly found the Silk Road, but not in the way that we expected, right?
Yes, because Zhang Qian himself
Yeah.
is not an explorer.
It is
Even though
not.
that the Silk Road came about after his journey, he was not an explorer. He was an envoy, a diplomatic envoy sent during the Han Dynasty
Yeah.
around 138 BC
Yeah.
for a diplomatic mission.
Yeah. Okay.
The diplomatic mission was to find alliances for the Han to fight the Xiangmu. If I'm not mistaken, the Xiangmu.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the Xiangmu were a nomadic tribe
Yeah.
sitting on the northwestern edge of the Chinese Empire, and they gave the Han Dynasty, the nascent Han Dynasty, a lot of headache because even though that they had a Heqing or a peace treaty between them, there was no actual peace, and they were invading the Han Dynasty, the Chinese Empire back then, over and over again. And so the emperor back
Yeah.
then, Emperor Wudi, decided to find alliances because my enemy's enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
So he started to look for enemies of the Xiangmu or the Hun.
Which is 大月支, which is today, basically located in today's Afghanistan. Well, we find them, say, okay, we're also, the victims of the Huns. So let's,
Of the Hun.
Of the Hun, sorry. The Han is the Han Dynasty. So why not build alliances, so we can fight against the Huns? So that's why the Han Emperor sent Zhang Qian as his special envoy to the 大月支 and in hope for that they can build some kind of alliances. So probably Zhang Qian is not riding some like the camels we're riding today. He will be probably riding horses, but he was quite unfortunate in the first place because he was
Captured.
he was captured by the Huns. So only 1 or 2 years after he left the Han Dynasty. So he was taken hostage for 10 years.
A decade. A
for
whole decade.
Huns tried to convince him to work for them. So
They even married him.
They even sent a Hun woman to marry Zhang Qian, but he still didn't change his mind.
And yeah, he actually married her and they got a child.
A child.
But still his loyalty was for the dynasty.
In some night he just fled. He just fled
Yes.
he
10 years after his capture.
10 years his capture, he fled the Hun, and he finally got to Dayuan, which is, you know, as I said to Oika, it is a part of the Fergana Basin in Uzbekistan. So he first got there, you know, and then he finally got to Dayuezhi on his first mission.
So he finally got to the place where he was sent out to 10 years after he kicked off his journey.
Yeah.
But there was a twist to the story.
What is the twist to the story?
The twist of the story was when he met with the Yuezhi, who were nomadics, who were nomads.
Yeah.
They actually decided not to accept his offer for an alliance because the Yuezhi as well.
Okay, right.
So the Yuezhi themselves actually suffered a lot on the hands of the Xiongnu.
Yeah.
And they were kicked even further west. However, they found a place which is, as you said, is Uzbekistan. That was a fertile land with a lot of water and little robbers, so little bandits.
Right.
So they wanted to lead a very peaceful life and let bygones be bygones. So they rejected for a military alliance. So Zhang Qian supposedly went back home after that empty-handed, except that once again he had to cross the Xiongnu territories.
Yeah,
where he was recaptured. He was captured yet again and taken as a prisoner. But this time it was for 1 year. They released him, and they released him actually because they thought he was a nobleman, because he never relinquished the imperial credentials.
Right.
He really wanted to serve the Han Dynasty, and even if it took him 12 years, he was still decisive to go back, to go and fulfill his mission.
Yeah.
So they released him after a year of capturing him for the second time, and he went back to the Chinese Empire.
Okay.
Now, from a diplomatic point of view, it was a failed mission because he was set out for a military alliance.
Right.
He couldn't get it. He came back.
Yeah.
However, an unintended result was that he brought with him very valuable information about the western regions. The western regions are just regions that are west of China.
Yeah.
And what is today called as Central Asia. So he about their products and about the fact that the wealth and the richness of the Han dynasty could be extended if they actually started to trade some of their products with products that they didn't have, and that was in Central Asia. Matter of fact, he actually brought with him, Zhang Qian brought two types of products that China did not know. The first one is the grapes. The second one is the alfalfa. And alfalfa was used as feeds for horses and cattle.
Yeah.
Another thing that he brought with him was the idea of the Fergana horses. And the Fergana horses were very sturdy and robust horses that the Han Dynasty needed so much and so badly because they were still battling with the Xiongnu. And the Xiongnu were nomads, they were herdsmen, so they had their horses very trained, they had their horses robust and sturdy. And so they wanted the Fergana horses. And actually the first form of trade was the Fergana horses from Central Asia with silk from China.
Yeah.
That is how the first trade took shape along the Silk Road.
Yeah.
And then later on, after they got the Fergana horses, they won, the Han Dynasty won over the Xiongnu, and they kicked them away from their borders. And once they kicked them from this specific area, which is the Yangguan Pass in Dunhuang, they actually set up this garrison, which is this fort, this military outpost. And so there was more safety.
You can see these military settings around,
Yeah. No, this is a recreation.
Yeah, I know, of course.
Polo, but this is a life-size recreation based on records. And so safety and security was all over this place, which encouraged more traders from both sides of the Chinese borders to come and trade.
Yeah.
So this is
the beginning,
the genesis, if you want to say. This is the word that you came up with.
Okay.
About of the Silk Road.
Of the Silk Road.
And I think right now we are. Oh no, we're still riding the camels.
We're still riding the camels.
And you know they're actually very, very gentle to us today, except for the
Yeah. I mean,
a bit misfortune.
I mean, these are like very, very common animals. I mean, so that's why for 1,000 years they're riding in the desert.
Of course.
So speaking of you just spoke about the beginning of the Silk Road.
Yes.
And you also speak about the horses, the famous horse breed that Zhang Qian brought to China. But actually,
well, I cannot hear you actually.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, you talk about the Fergana horses.
Yes.
That the horse breed, the famous horse breed that Zhang Qian firstly brought to China.
Yes.
But after that, there's China even launched a war with the Dayuan because they want the horse so bad. Because in ancient time, horse is kind of regarded not as like a transportation tool, but rather a military tool. So in order to battle the Huns, they want to import the horse breed so badly, and
They were assets. These horses were assets.
yeah, so they start a war with the Dayuan because firstly they asked for it. They built a gold horse, so say, come on, we want some horse breed, but they refused. So they had a war, with the Dayuan.
Okay.
And
well, I
then
have
got
to
a war.
stop you because we have to get.
Yeah,
down
so
right
we
now.
arrived at the spot.
Yes.
So it's time that we
对对对.
that we go off
I
the
will just
camel.
give my mic because I really need to cling
Yeah.
on.
Okay. Let our cameraman goes first because he's the one sitting in front of us, and he's doing his job, without caring about his own safety. We admire him.
Of course we do.
We admire him so much. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So it's my turn. Hopefully it's hopefully. Ooh. Okay. Okay.
It takes a bit of time, like when you.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's calm at least. All right. Okay, steady. Okay. It's a very funny camel ride. You see, see this man getting nervous on the top of the thing. He's not doing well. Remember, you're from a camel family, Nadim.
Of course, I have to.
You have to remember you're from a camel family.
I have to make my grandfather proud.
Yeah.
My mother's grandfather.
All right. Here's your mic.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Look at
That
you,
will hurt
man.
tomorrow. All that tension.
Look at you. Where's the owner of the camel family?
I didn't cry.
You didn't cry. Okay.
Run away.
Yeah, you did your best.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay.
So you
So,
were speaking about the war that was started, and that was actually
Right.
the first war started over horses.
That's the first war in the human history, on the record, because that two nations started a war because of the horses.
Yeah.
But finally, the Han Dynasty won, and they took some thousands of horses back, so they can build a strong
Army.
army.
Yes.
So, especially they can build armed forces, heavy armed forces.
Yeah.
So they can battle. So won the battle with the Huns. So they,
The Huns.
the Huns. I'm sorry, I made a
You're
mistake.
mixing up the Huns and the Huns.
They're so just use
Similar.
Xiongnu, yeah.
Xiongnu.
Just
Xiongnu,
use
much
Xiongnu.
better.
Yeah, okay. So after that, China really expanded its territory,
Of course.
which also, in a way, safeguarded the safety of the Western regions, because this place used to be, governed by the Normans. Now,
Yes. And so that's how the Silk Road came to life.
Yeah.
It started with a military
military mission.
diplomatic
Yeah.
mission that went wrong. But the unintended result was the fact that we had this transcontinental route that extended from Luoyang, which was the capital
Yeah.
of one of the two capitals.
One of the two capitals.
Han
You have
Dynasty,
to have two capitals.
all
yeah.
the way as far as the Roman Empire
Yeah.
through maritime routes. And
So it's really for the first continent they're linking together.
of course,
Yeah,
it was a major thing back then because China was isolated, other countries were isolated as well. Trade was just opening
Yeah.
up around the Roman Empire,
Yeah.
and they started to expand.
Yeah.
And at that time, China also started to expand from its side, and there was the first trade that actually happened between an Eastern civilization and a Western civilization happened on the Silk road.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about these two, the Romans
Yeah.
were famous for their glassware.
For the glassware.
Yes, making glass.
Right.
The Chinese
China.
were famous not only for China, which is porcelain,
Porcelain, yeah.
but they were also famous for something more.
From silk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's where we get the name from. Although, it's not named by a Chinese,
Right.
but some other call it Silk Road,
But back then it wasn't called. the
It
Silk
wasn't
Road.
called
It
Silk.
wasn't until recently that it was called. Like not recently, and I mean in modern days.
In modern days. Yeah, yeah.
It was
People
it was called the Silk Road.
Probably just call it, the road that leads to somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah.
And so they traded because China was at one end and the
Mm-hmm.
Roman Empire was at another
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
So they traded silk for gold and gold for silk.
Yeah.
Now the silk
Made a lot of money, huh?
yes, even
Along the
though-
way, with
yes.
the carrying the camel, you're carrying by the camels. Okay.
Of course. Now the camels, and this is one thing that people should know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that when we speak about the Silk Road, and as long as it was, few people actually went from one end to the
another.
other.
Yeah.
Usually what would happen is the items and the products, whatever they are,
Mm-hmm.
they would be traded along the road.
Yeah.
So basically they would change hands from one merchant to another
Yeah.
because few people actually went from one side to the other.
It would
Now,
be too much of a stretch.
it's
for them,
too
yeah.
much of a stretch and it's too much of a trouble. The dangers were actually very real.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about the dangers.
Okay.
The Silk Road is divided into a western part
Mm-hmm.
and an eastern part. Now the western part goes right into China. It starts from Luoyang, which
Right.
is one capital of
Yeah.
the Chinese, of the Han Dynasty, which is in today's Shanxi province.
Yeah.
And then from Luoyang, it goes to Xi'an in central China, Henan province. And then from there, it goes to Dunhuang, where we are right now in
Yeah.
northwest China. And then in Dunhuang, as we spoke yesterday, for those who watched the live show, the Silk Road is divided into a northern Silk Road and a southern
Silk Road, yeah.
And this is to just escape the deserts.
All
And
right, okay.
From the North Silk
Just
Road,
the two pathway to go through the desert.
because
yeah.
of the geographical complexity of
Right.
that region.
Yeah.
So it goes to Kucha, which is one oasis, and then to Kashgar. And Kashgar was a central trading point between the Western Silk Road, which is encapsulated in the Chinese territory, and the Eastern Silk Road.
Silk Road.
Sorry, switch. Eastern Silk Road encapsulated in the Chinese territory, and the Western Silk Road, which starts from Kashgar, goes through the Pamir Mountains.
Pamir, yeah.
Which are
Plateau,
again,
yeah.
Iranian plateau, and then goes to where I'm supposedly coming from, Mesopotamia,
Mesopotamia, yeah.
and then goes up through the Syrian deserts. Guys, you really have to know a few geographical
yeah.
countries for this.
You have to have a map with
map.
you when this guy, give you the lecture. Yeah.
And then from Syria, it goes to today's Turkey.
Turkey,
And
yeah.
then these were the western ports of the Mediterranean, the
Right.
eastern ports of the Mediterranean. And then they move through the maritime routes, through ships,
Yeah.
to as far as Venice.
Venice,
So in the eastern part, which is in the Chinese territories, you had the desert, and that was a huge hazard, a big hazard,
Yeah.
because of the dehydration
Right.
risks.
You were talking
because-
about the danger, yeah.
and
Speaking
it's
of
actually
danger.
it actually is really hot today.
It is.
You know, after
But it's
like
a nice
few-
weather,
It
same
is.
time,
It is.
yeah.
But it's also hot. We have to admit that it's hot. because it's a
Especially in
desert.
your like very exotic costume.
And the
I think
fur.
my one is
And
much
no animals
more.
were harmed
yeah,
in
yeah.
making this outfit.
No, I hope so. Okay, I mean my one is much more lighter because of the silk.
Silk, of course.
Silk, silk products, which is China famous for.
So yeah, hazards. We spoke about the dehydration risk.
Yep.
We also had the bandits along the road.
Along the road, yeah.
And the fact that because of the sun, merchants would have some sort of a mirage, and so they would just stray away
Go the
from
wrong
the
way.
right path.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that was in the eastern part. In the western part, actually, one of the things that could torment the merchants is the flies.
The flies, really?
Yes, the flies
Okay,
would torment
okay.
them. Also had tigers. We also had lions
Other
because it was
beasts.
mountainous
Right,
areas.
yeah.
So the hazards were real, and as you said, it was such a long stretch, and there were so many settlements along the road that the merchants just traded wherever they arrived, and so that's how products went from China all the way to the Roman Empire. Not necessarily in one continuous road, but just from one settlement to
Another
the
one.
other.
Yeah, okay.
And however,
Yeah.
we're speaking about a continuous journey.
Yeah.
One person who did this journey is your namesake, Marco Polo.
Which I get my name from.
Yes.
I respect him a lot as a person, as a great individual.
And you should, because he wasn't the first Western traveler
Yeah.
to go through the Silk Road.
Right.
However, he was the first one to write the chronicles of his detailed journey. And he did actually go from Venice in Italy all the way to China. Back then it was Chengdu in Inner Mongolia.
Right.
And the journey took him 4 years.
4 years.
He stayed 17 years in China.
I think
And
today if you take a plane, it will take you like 12 hours.
it would actually, it depends if you have a layover or not.
All right.
But with a layover, it would take
Something
you around
like, you know,
17 hours.
17 hours, yeah.
17 hours versus 4 years. He actually, on his way, he stopped in Dunhuang, Marco Polo, on his
Right.
way to China.
Yeah.
And he was only 17 years
Yeah.
old when he came to China.
Wow, he was young.
Yeah, when he set out. He
When,
was,
you know, when Jiang Qian went on his first trip, he was 27.
Yeah.
And he was captured by the Han, you know, he became 37.
Okay.
So Marco Polo was even younger.
Yes, yes.
We were talking about the two great young men who, you know, traveled adventurous, you
Yes.
know, try to find a different culture, try to, you know, exploring for something unknown.
And it was actually Marco Polo's
Yeah.
gift to the world, his book, The Travels of Marco Polo.
The travels of Marco
The
Polo.
Travels
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Marco Polo. That was, and in which he actually spoke in details about the Silk Road and the very far eastern lands that he visited.
Yep.
That's how he did a bit of like marketing. For
So
the
I mean, it's
Silk Road.
really a mutual process, you know. It's
Of course.
people in the West
And people
you know,
in the east.
Yeah, you know, they have like, I believe in ancient time they have like certain like illusions or dreams about, you know, the faraway land, and they start their like exploration.
Of course,
So
it's
that's
like a
what
human
makes
curiosity.
yeah, that makes
And-
what makes the Silk Road really.
Yeah.
So if you look at here,
Speaking about Zhang Qian,
speaking of Zhang Qian, back into the matter of Zhang Qian, here's a famous portrait of him. No, it's a statue of him, I'm sorry. Here's a famous statue of him. You know, I don't think he looks like a general. Because when he first came to the visit, he's just a small government official, I believe.
yeah,
He's a
he was a member of the Imperial Guard.
member of the Imperial Guard, but this looks like, you know, the thing he's holding?
He became a hero.
Yeah, you know, the thing he's holding is called, I think it's some kind of like a tally, you know, it's a sign showing, you know, your royal, you know, you see the dragon's hat
Yeah.
on the top of it, you know, it's called hanjie in Chinese.
Okay.
So it's
Hanjie.
it's a symbol of, you know, nation authority, let's put it this way.
And do you
So-
think they're depicting him riding the Fergana horses?
I don't think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's Fergana horses, but I mean, he was being captured only like 2 years. It can't be like, he probably loses his
Yeah,
talent.
but he brought word about the Fergana horses.
Exactly.
And, you know, even though that he was captured, he
Yeah.
is still regarded as a hero because he is called the father of the Silk Road. If
He
it wasn't
was the
for
father.
the father
Okay.
of the Silk Road.
All right, okay.
So if it wasn't for his misfortune, there wouldn't be a Silk
He
Road.
will be traveled a bit far, maybe. Do you think he can travel like a little further to the west?
I think he would have, but
There's a
I'm not
possibility?
really sure.
Because
if
he- yeah,
he
because
would have
he's a-
brought back what he did.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
which is the idea of countries or empires on the western region of in the western side of China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't think that, you know, the much celebrated Silk Road would have come to existence
Mm.
had it not been for, you know, his little slip in terms of diplomacy.
Yeah, I can think so. So we still have a lot of unanswered questions, and there's a lot of the, you know, curiosities about ancient time. So here we have someone. So
A very important one.
very important one. He's so here we have the vice director of the Yangguan Pass Museum, Miss Wu.
你好，
你好，你好，吴馆长。
欢迎你们到阳
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. This is Vice Director of the Yangguan Museum, Miss Wu.您在这儿工作多长时间了？大概？
我2003年到现在。
Oh my God, that's well, my mathematics is not good, but this is like 15 years. No, 14 years. I'm sorry.
It's 2003.
2003. Yeah, 14 years.
14 years.
14 years at the Yangguan Museum. So I think you're gonna take us. So she will probably take us to like here's a famous.
Well, she has to. She's the one who knows all the information.
Yeah,
So-
not you and I. Although we did like all research, you know, I think you
Of
did
course,
a lot of
but
research.
for 14 years, you know,
It's nothing.
she's a master.
Yeah, OK， 行，就是说吴馆长，我们现在就是说让您看看，给我们讲讲这些就是这个壁画上关于丝绸之路上的就是一些重要的故事，您给我们看一看，好不好
好，
？OK，
我们知道丝绸之路从张骞出使西域，那时起呢，就标志全线畅通了。那么丝绸之路的开通，沟通了中西经济、政治、文化诸多方面的交流，应该说为人类的进步、世界的文明做出了非常大的贡献。那么丝绸之路历史非常悠久，文化内涵深厚。我们阳关博物馆呢，也想就是通过博物馆的这种建筑、雕塑、壁画、陈展诸多的艺术手段呢，来体现历史，让人们通过听、看、参与、感受来走进历史，来了解丝绸之路，了解阳关。所以身后我们看到的这幅壁画。
不好意思，您给我时间，我要翻译一下。您得说一下，因为咱们毕竟是这个英文观众嘛。So let's take a break for the little bit of translation. So here's since Yangguan Pass is a very important stop along the Silk.
As we explained before.
As we explained before, so it is, you know, it's also a testimony of, you know, how the Silk Road it has witnessed, you know, the development of the ancient Silk Road. So here's a list of important things along the way, so which she's gonna to explain. 您可以解释一下这几些事情 ，OK？
这是用壁画的形式介绍从丝绸之路开通到交流到丝绸之路沿线各民族繁荣的一种景象。那么您可以看到张骞凿空，张骞出使西域，标志着丝绸之路的开通。
Okay, so it's the first one is about, you know, the thing we already talked a lot about is the first Zhang Qian, the first one who really helped to establish the Silk Road. So it's the first one. You can see, I think that is Zhang Qian, right?
Yeah,
这个是张骞啊，这个张骞
拿着金节，
汉节是吧？哦 yeah, he's bring the statue. Okay, so
Fun fact, dogs were
Dogs.
brought to China through the Silk Road.
oh really?
狗的品种不一样。它在这里您看到这只小狗是在西域乌松这边，应该是一只小的牧羊犬。
Okay. So it's the shepherd's dog.
Yeah.
This is a shepherd's dog because this is still in the, you know, western regions. So this could be some like, you know.
But I'm sure dogs were brought to China.
Yeah,
through
by the Silk Road.
Road.
Yeah, lots of things were brought to China.
对，在
Yeah.
中原地区，其实咱们中国早就有狗。
Oh, it's a different. Yeah, yeah. We used to have a lot of different
kind of
brands
dogs.
of dogs.
第二幅
Okay.
画面您看到是通好联姻，丝绸之路沿线各民族交流融合。
So it's about cross-cultural marriage. Cross-cultural marriage because
Like
you
what
know,
you've done.
yeah,
here.
that what I've done with. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, what I heard from history is that a lot of emperors will marry their princess
Yes.
to the other emperors. So it's
That was one way of establishing diplomatic relations with other empires.
Yeah. 就是我们说了一下，就是很多国王是会把他的女儿嫁给别的国家的，对，作为一个联姻的方法，是吧
你
？OK。
看中原的公主嫁给了西域民族
Look at
的这个
that!
首
This
领。
you know, this is like some princess from like a Han,
And she's being married to
to someone wearing the same
ancestors.
custom, someone wearing your custom. Okay.
from Babylon.
From Babylon. All right. Okay. Yeah.
第
Let's
三
move
幅画
on.
面呢是讲丝绸之路开通之后，中原的丝绸沿着丝绸之路，输送出去，产生于印度的佛教文化反方向从西向东传入，所以是佛教东界逐步传入的一个过程。
Right.
Buddhism.
Yeah.
Buddhism.
She were talking about Buddhism. You know, came from India and you know, you see these people, you know, coming back to China, you know, you see these monks.
Yes,
Yeah.
because again, the Silk Road was not just about tangible material. It was also
Yeah,
about ideas. It was
intangible, yeah.
intangible materials such as ideas, such as religions. You know, Dunhuang was the first place that welcomed Buddhism, and you have the Mogao grottos.
Yeah, Mogao grottos is
in Dunhuang that are a living proof of the development of
Exactly,
the Buddhism
exactly,
in China,
yeah,
in
yeah.
Dunhuang and into China.
into China. All right. Okay, we
东
move
皇
on.
是作为丝绸之路上
嗯
必经的地方，处于咽喉之地。
It is a crucial juncture along the Silk Road.
所以在历史时期也成为经济、政治、文化交流的一个中
Oh,
心了。
careful. So many people didn't have that whole forum thing. You know, people don't know, you know, the ancient side of the roads or why it is important, because Nadim has already explained a lot of, you know, histories. So it is really, you know, an effort, you know, for both ends to, you know, reaching out to each other, you know, to understand each other's culture, you know. It's just a little reminder of you know,
course.
the history, you know, the history inside of that kind of thing, because
Right.
lots of people think about
您看到音乐、舞蹈、乐器、杂技诸多方面的人。
acrobatics and
See, I did not know. I did not know that came to China through the Silk Road.
it's from Dayuan. I think Zhang Qian, one of those, you know, dwarf performers. Yeah, so they used to, you know, bells
Okay.
that people used to play, and they bring a lot of, you know, music from the West, which is, yeah. 一些音乐，对不对？
Okay, 对。
传入了中国，
去四国。
it's the music.
Here we see the grapes, putao.
Yeah, this is the grapes.
Yeah.
这是
葡萄。
从西域
Yeah.
Okay.
当时从西域代表性的特点就是带有一个胡字。
胡
对
okay.
胡椒、胡桃、胡瓜。
Yeah, it's the peppers, onions. But in China we call onion 洋葱.
Yeah.
We call pepper 胡椒.
Yeah.
Because you know the yang means, you know, from the sea. Hu means is from the land.
The land or the lake?
The land.
Okay.
胡椒 means, you know, pepper.
Yeah.
Pepper
Black
means
pepper.
Pepper. Yeah, black pepper. Okay. Yeah.
胡桃就是咱们吃的核桃。
So
All right.
the black pepper actually it was imported to China through the Silk Road.
I don't know if it's through the Silk Road, but it is regarded like a foreign imported thing.
Okay.
Rather than like a
Do you know which spices China exported to the world back in the days?
which what?
Which spices? Because you're speaking about
Spices.
Yeah. We're speaking about spice imports.
That's a good question though. Back to the Han Dynasty.
Through the
China.
Silk Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Oh, I was about to say that.
But you didn't.
Cinnamon. Come on. Okay. All right.
Cinnamon and ginger.
Ginger. Okay. Ginger. Yeah.
China's
okay.
famous for ginger.
西域的好马，还
Oh,
有
that's the
中原
Fergana horses. Heavenly horses.
中原的丝绸，
Is there people, you
非
know?
常受
Oh, that's
这
the
个西域
silk
人民的喜欢。
and the horses.
And the horses.
Yeah. Okay.
这里表现的就是商贾行旅、丝绸之路上经济贸易交流的繁荣景象。
Merchants along the Silk Road.
最后一幅画面讲的是康乐生平，丝绸之路沿线各民族人民呢生活安乐。你看到刀枪入库、马放南山，没有战争，非常和谐的一种社会景象。
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's about it. It's the people, you know, living together. It's the cultural exchanges.
Harmony.
You know, harmony. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is the wallpaper and so
The murals, yeah.
yeah. I mean, since I'm just getting this Asian passport, so I mean, in ancient times,
Yeah.
probably I'm gonna ask her. I mean, in ancient times, how could people, you know, passing the border checks. I mean,
Right, because now we saw someone from the Han coming out. What about those who wanted to come in from the foreign lands? Would they have the same procedures?
OK， 就是他问一下，就是说，就是我们刚才这是一个汉族人出关的这个仪式。如果就说像他们如果想进关的话，是不是也有一个什么样的仪式呢？
这在历史时期有记载，有一些重要的人们在出入关的时候都会有这个迎接或者送别的仪式。但是呢，出入关呢，不管是进来的还是出去的，通关文牒是必须要办理。
They need this one, yeah.
没有合法手续是不能正常走上这个。
It's just like the normal days when you're.
It's very orderly to have. We have to say, you know,
Yeah.
they would know who's coming in and who's going out.
Yeah. And when important people like you come to the place, we'll set people, you know, to welcome you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Except there was no welcoming ceremony for me today, but.
All right. 就是 since we're talking about, you know, I was translating, so let's talk something about, you know,
Languages.
language barriers, you know. 就是说我们也想问一个问题，就是说古代呢，因为我们现在可能有很多翻译啊，或者是现在有很多这个什么软件、字典之类的，但是就是像古代那种，因为就像如果像一个别的国家，像张骞出去之前，别的国家很多人他都没有去过。没见到，就是这种情况下，一般他们古人是怎么翻译？因为张骞他是带了一个归顺的这个匈奴，是吧？叫唐一夫，他跟着他，但是其他人怎么着？
去给他做翻译是，这个在史料中也有一些记载，比如说张骞他出使西域，到西域各国，每到一个国家都会给他派向导、派翻译员，可见每个国家他也有一些人专门是可以做翻译工作的。
So they say they have, in ancient time, they have special people, you know, special experts, you know, that can be, you know, they know different languages.
Such as Marco Polo, for example.
Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows lots of different languages.
He actually, when he came to China, he stayed 17 years, and as a young boy, he learned the language here.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So that's just an example.
Right. Okay, so
So there's translators back in the days.
Yeah.
What else? That's it.
Yeah, there were translators back in the days, and 就是说除了那个翻译的说，您刚才还说过，就说有可能有那些僧侣、商人什么的，他们也会经常会很多语言，是吧？
是，他们通晓这个西域很多语言。那么还有呢，就是他们是在从小就是在这个地方出生，他可能再过一段时间就会到另外一个地方去学习。
OK。
所以他本来呢，一生呢就会有好多种语言，比如说鸠摩罗什，还有就是唐玄奘，他们都通晓很多语言。
Yeah. So there are people, you know, when they, you know, just like you guys going to abroad for study, in a quite young age, so they can, you know, naturally. You are okay.
Yeah.
So let's ask one last question. The last question for today, since the Belt and Road Forum
is right upon us.
Is right upon us. Yeah, it's gonna be held from 13th of May.
14th
of May
14th
to
and 15th.
To 15th of May in Beijing. And so I'm kind of want to ask her, you know, what the new Belt and Road initiative going to bring not only to the benefits of the people along the Belt and Road country, but rather to those Asian sites. These peoples, I mean, these places are the real founders of the Silk Road. So I'm going to ask her what the benefits are.
Please do.
OK， 就是说想问一下，因为我们现在有那个“一带一路”峰会召开嘛，我们也在提这个“一带一路”这个方针，提了很长时间。但是就说我们说沿线有很多这个国家，我们会有很多项目，但是对于我们这个最原本就是丝绸之路最开始的这个，比如说像阳关啊，比如说敦煌这种地方，我们从中有一些什么受益呢？您能讲讲吗？
我感觉应该说受益还是比较大的。首先，新一次的这种交流又被促进了，因为这种宣传，好多人就知道了，原来丝绸之路文化这么悠久，这么历史时期这么辉煌，那么人们都非常向往，就会来到这个地方，那么进行了新一轮的这种交流。还有呢，就是对于尤其是敦煌作为丝绸之路上重要的这个一个地方，遗存下来的文物遗址特别多。那么这次“一带一路”的提出呢，应该说对于这些文物遗址的这个保护，应该是有很大的这个好处，因为人们都关注了。还有呢，就是我们当然敦煌也是非常重视，包括我们这个阳关， 为了让来到这里的人，不管是中国客人还是外国客人，更多的了解这段历史，我们也在想办法呢，就挖掘历史，如何开拓一些更多的参与性的。这种活动，
对，就是这个也是一种
对，
我们
直接可以
刚提到的
走
这种
进历史，
对，
来直接的去和历史对话、接触、体验历史。
So she basically said, the Belt and Road Initiative basically is a good promotion, for these ancient sites because more people come to know the Silk Road. That's one, and the second one is about there's a lot of artifacts that's been unearthed here in Dunhuang. And the Belt and Road Initiative, they provide a lot of help to preserve these artifacts, ancient artifacts.
Right.
Yeah. The thing we got to experience today, that they introduced a lot of cultural programs, to really raising the awareness of Asian, how to get the Asian passport or things like that. 好，那今天非常谢谢吴馆长。对，谢谢。
He went times exactly 4,000 years ago during the along with other territories in the west of China. So you went through the customs and you step by step out of the Chinese territory. After that, we had a camel ride. And that was
which is
exciting and at the same time terrifying, at least for me.
Okay.
But they're very tall creatures. You got to give that to them.
Well, they're very, very calm and nice creatures as well. So, I mean, we have already mentioned a lot about history.
Right.
So right now is the time talking about, the Belt and Road.
Right. Right.
I'm not going to make it wrong this time, though.
However, the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation is going to happen in
You did your research.
Stay tuned to CGTN Digitals on our platforms.
Follow us, on different platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and WeChat, Weibo.
Weibo for those Chinese followers that we have. So do stay tuned with us, and we will be seeing you as soon as possible. Thank you again for watching us here from Dunhuang, Yangguan Pass in Dunhuang City, Northwest China.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.